AVC, it is Old Metal Rocker 67 here, and I have a collections update. And to those of you who have been following my collection series, I think I'm up to maybe 35. These are mostly finished collections, whether they're big catalogs or whether they're small catalogs. These are from bands that no longer are together. And today's going to be kind of a mix of two bands. One band only has a couple albums, and the other band has 5 studios and a live album. So, as many of you know, I love the 70s. I was raised in the 70s. I've heard so much music out of the 70s. Now, you flash forward to the present, and I'm 67, so the 70s will always be my decade of music, always. But in 2026, I would have to go back 10 years, maybe 15 years, where I started seeing a lot of releases from these companies wanting to reissue music from the 70s or the late 60s, and as a result there were so many bands that got reissues done. Let's say the early days they only did maybe 50 pressings or 100 pressings on private labels, and they were gone. A lot of these, one and done, two and done, they're gone. But this band here is a band I came across when I was stationed in Duluth, Minnesota in the Coast Guard in 1978 through 81. Anyway, I came across this band and doing a lot of album digging through 5-6 record stores not far from where I lived. They were all within 10 blocks of one another. So there was a lot of places with a lot of variety, imports, used albums, new albums, pop albums, hard rock albums, you name it, it was everywhere. Anyway, so I came across this band, which I will show you the album that I first came in contact with this band, and it was because of the cover. Never heard it, and to this day I run into maybe one person that's ever heard of this band I'm going to talk about. They formed in like '66 with Robbie Dunbar on guitars out of Berkeley, California, which is south of San Francisco. I'm not sure how far, maybe right south of there a little bit, but so they're part of the Bay Area scene. So anyway, this band, which started in '66, put out their first album, I think it's '71. This first album came out, which I had never seen up until probably 10 years ago, where I came across this, and did a lot of searching. Never seen it in wild ever. Had to have it. The first the first Earthquake album, self-titled from 70, let's see, what was it? I think it was 71, on A&M Records. And this is a 4-piece band. This has John Dukas on vocals, Robbie Dunbar, Greg Boykin, and who is he? Stan Miller. So the 4-piece there. Now, this does have some really strong tracks on there. 3 or 4, and the rest are kind of just slower, okay tracks, but a lot of good guitar work from Robbie Dunbar. But this is their first album from '71. This is actually a promo, so good to have. And then they came out with their second, called Why Don't You Try Me, also on A&M. And this has one of my favorite tracks on this, which is Train Ride. But great stuff. they're kind of classified as power pop, but myself, in no way I would ever classify them that. They're a hard rock band out of the Bay Area. But great stuff. Check it out. This is their second release from 70, what would I say? 72. So, number 2. And then they did album 3, which is all live material throughout California, called Rockin' the World. And this has a lot of great tracks on here that I know in and out, behind my back and everywhere. Side 1 has Route 66, and it has Power Glide Slide, Friday on My Mind, Sitting in the Middle of Madness. It's on the Berserkly label. Now, the Berserkly label is part of, Robbie Dunbar actually owns part of Berserkly. I can't remember who the other owner was involved. So they only have 5 bands basically on Berserkly. It was this band, Greg Kinn, the Rubinos. I can't think of the other 2 right offhand, but that's it. So this one came out in 75. And great album. Good live stuff. And I'm trying to think of, let's see, what is it? Can't think of it. But anyway, good stuff. Check it out on the Berserkly label. Now, when I first started talking about Earthquake, this is the album that is where I found them, and this will be my favorite album by them. I mean, I had a lot of success back in them days, in the 70s, 80s, just buying bands by covers. Well, this was one of them, and this one I bought was 8.5 by Earthquake. And this is a gatefold edition. Also on Berserkly Records. This is from 76. Great stuff. Finders Keepers, Little Cindy, And He Likes to Hurt You, Saving My Lovin', which is in the background. But it's a gatefold edition and fantastic stuff. Heavy, hard rock, great vocals, unique vocals to the band. And then I came across this a number of years back in a pawn shop. They were liquidating everything, going out of business, and they had like 50,000 albums, so I went through just about every album. I did find maybe 50 albums out of all of them that I kept or found. This is one of them. Still in shrink when I found it, 50 cents. And this is just a single jacketed album, but good stuff. Different. There is a difference between the 2. Darker here, lighter here, but great album. And then came, before I get into that, I'm going to show you this. Now this is what we're listening to. And I wanted to get to this part and let you hear some of Robbie Dunbar's guitar playing. Fantastic. I mean, this guy I think was so underrated, and I don't think a lot of people knew of him. But still active today. But listen to this. Great stuff. And this whole CD here, which is a CD DVD combo, just came out. Well, this came out in, let's see here. This actually came out in 2025, May of last year. This is the live show in Rock Palast in 1978. It's the only video footage out there of this band. But great guitar work. And the track is Saving My Love. So I got this earlier this week. Great stuff. Check it out. Robbie Dunbar, amazing guitar player. So, show you that. We'll get back to the studios. So, after 8.5, we got Leveled, which came out, what was it, 77, also on a Berserkly record label. Kind of had that glammy look about them, how they dressed. Great stuff. This is a promo, a demo. It is, of course, gold stamp promo up there. So I have actually two promos. Actually 3 promos. So good stuff here. And then I do have another one that is not a promo. Vinyl is in absolutely great shape. And then their last studio album was 2 Years in a Padded Cell. But there was a period between, I believe, their live Rockin' the World 8.5 and Leveled, where they were a 5-piece. First 2 as a 4-piece, and this is a 4-piece. But again, promo, good stuff. Check them out if you've never heard them. I really highly recommend them if you like hard rock. Again, from the Bay Area of California. Robbie Dunbar is actually still active with Earthquake. So there are a few CDs out there from Earthquake, which is this one here, which is their anthology. Sitting in the Middle of Madness, put out by Berserkly. This, I think, when did this come out? 2000, actually put out by Castle. But 20 tracks, has just about everything from all the albums. And great pickup. And like I said, I showed you earlier, this is the last one I found. This is all they have out there. There are singles, 7-inch out there, which I will probably be searching for. But again, you can find this. It is out there. Last I looked, there was still one copy, I think, over on Discogs. Decent price, cheaper than vinyl. So check it out. And as I said, I have 2 bands. Well, this next band is a band that was on a well-known, well, a very well-known label to us. Of course, they were on the Swan Song label. Of course, we know who's on the Swan Song label. You have Led Zeppelin, of course, which basically was their label. And then we had Bad Company. I believe, I think Prism was actually on that label. And then we had this band, which came out in I believe it was 77 actually. This is also an album I found in Duluth, Minnesota when I was in the Coast Guard going through stuff. I mean, the cover just kind of, boom, it screamed at me, Detective. So, I know a lot of you people know who Detective is. 5-piece, Swan Song, as you can see. And kind of more glam, hard rock orientated. It has Michael DeBars on vocals, if you're familiar with Michael DeBars. Of course, he was in a number of bands prior to Detective, and I'm going to show you two before we go on with more Detective. He was in, of course, an international project, I think back in the late 70s or early 80s. That was a kind of an international choir thing, which I don't have. And then there was the Michael DeBar's band, and then there was this band. Of course, this band is out of the UK. I'm talking about Silverhead, featuring Michael DeBar's on the cover. This is actually a reissue on Vinylism Records, part of the Purple Label Records Company, if you're familiar. But so he was in Silverhead prior to Detective. They put out a couple albums. There's a couple of live albums out there. There are a couple of CDs out there yet. And then they did their second album, 16 and Savage, which came out in 73, I believe. Yeah, 73. So Silverhead came out in 72. But again, Michael DeBar's on vocals. To me, they're very unique. You could definitely pick him out in vocalist. But again, they were kind of glam rock, hard rock in nature. They dressed. So anyway, after that came Detective. What did they say, 76, 77? This came out. Great album. It has Recognition, kind of a melodic hard rock, driving bass. It has the vocals just, I mean, they just fit. They just fit Detective with Michael DeBar's. Again, like I said, they're on the Swan Song label. But that was their debut. And then this one here, which came out, I believe, 78, called It Takes One to Know One. Also on Swan Song. I don't know of the two which I like best. They're both really good. Help Me Good, Competition, Are You Talking to Me, Dynamite, I mean, Tearjerker, classic, great Detective song. So it has Michael DeBar's on vocals, Michael Monarch guitars, John Hyde drums, Bobby Pickett bass, and Tony K keyboards. I don't know if you can see that or not, but also on Swan Song, and boom, that was it from Detective. So brief catalog, not much out there, but all they put out was 2 albums. And as well, I have both CDs, which I had to have. These are actually, both were put out by Wounded Bird Records. I'm sure a lot of people should know who they are. Did a lot of reissues, and then I don't know how many years back I found this. I believe anyway, this is Detective Live. It's from Europe, pressed in Europe. What year was this? Don't think I'm gonna find a year on this. It was put out in 2013, but I'm almost sure that's not when it was recorded. But kind of nice to have some live Detective. It's not bad. It's not the greatest live recording, but it still sounds really good. But anyway, Detective Live. And then last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, can't remember, I think it was last year, Michael DeBar's was online quite a bit all last year promoting Detective. Now, I forgot to say, some of you may know Michael DeBar's, of course. If you ever followed the 70s and the band, of course, you would always know MacGyver. And he was the arch nemesis to MacGyver. But anyway, Michael DeBars last year was really promoting the reissue of this detective. I don't know if you're going to see it. I think it's a horrible cover. It's purple on black and you can't really see it, and I don't know, it's just something I don't dig. But let's see here, it's kind of a purple vinyl. I don't know if you're going to see that or not. It's probably not. But anyway, this has the liner notes with Michael DeBars is right here. And on the back as well. I thought this was, yeah, I believe those are the lyrics in here, yeah. That's all the lyric sheet. But anyway, I don't know. I didn't really care for how it sounded. I thought it sounded rather dull. I would rather take the combination of the two studios with over that. I mean, it's nice to have, but the sound really didn't grab me as being very, very good. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know if you've heard it. Let me know your opinion. Write in comments below. But anyway, that is my collection series. Like I said, I think I'm up to about like 36, 37, I believe. Could be wrong, but hey. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, give us some thumbs up, hit the like button, and leave a comment. And yeah, so we'll see you next time. And keep on rocking, everybody. Take care.